How many of you guys ever wondered if we're all alone on Earth? Do you think there are extraterrestrial beings out there? I believe so. A few years back, I went to Guatemala. I left astonished as I encountered the magnificent pyramids of the ancient Mayan civilization. The trip to see the pyramids was not easy at all. You have to get through a great deal of terrain in order to get to the pyramids. One question that lingered in my mind after I left my trip was, could my ancestors have built this all on their own? The Mayan civilization continues to astonish the world today. Even though they existed thousands of years ago, they were very advanced for their age. In 2012, a Mexican government official went public releasing artifacts and hieroglyphics illustrating that the Mayans had in fact contact with aliens. He even made public statements saying there are landing pads in the Mayan ruins that are over 3,000 years old. Today I will inform my audience on the 2 ways Mayans had contact with aliens. We're going to explore evidence number 1, which is architecture, and evidence number 2, which is artifacts. We're going to start by evidence number 1, architecture. An example of evidence number 1 is the Pyramid of the Sun. It's one of the largest pyramids in the Western Hemisphere. It dominates the landscape of the ancient city of Teotihuacan in Mexico, which housed more than 100,000 people. It is lined up with the moon. The structure was built with no tools. The stone used to build this pyramid was found over 5,000 miles away without the use of the wheel. According to Geographic magazine, the wheel was invented years after the Mayans. According to links.org, the Pyramid of the Sun is the 3rd largest pyramid in the world. Another architecture evidence is the city of Palenque, built on the hills, without any metal tools and without the wheel. Even with the technology we have today, it would be very difficult to have construction in the middle of the jungle. Palenque had over 1,000 different artifacts. 8 small rivers running down the surrounding mountains find their way through the city. The most important structures were streams called autolums, which redirected the water directly into the royal palace and into places made to follow the underground aqueduct, which supported platforms and walkways, according to ancient education. The city of Palenque had pyramids, temples, palaces, and even bowl courts, and even grand plazas where people would exchange goods. The ancient city of Palenque also had artificial pools, courtyards, and even fountains. Palenque was home to a king, King Pacal's tomb. King Pacal's tomb took over 4 years to excavate. When they excavated his tomb, they recovered a lot of different artifacts that proved that the Mayans had contact with the aliens. They discovered a lot of artifacts depicting UFOs, according to Vivid magazine. And that is the city of Palenque. As you can see, it has different architectural structures, such as bowl courts and grand plazas, and even religious buildings. And this is the tomb of King Pacal. It took 4 years to excavate. Moving on to another evidence would be the architecture and astronomy. The buildings of the Mayans, the buildings the Mayans adored, have been built to align significant cycle astronomical events, such as solstice, equinox, shifting of the moon, and rising of the planets. And this is how many of the Mayan pyramids are aligned with the sun. The Mayan built observations many of their cities and aligned important structures with movements of celestial bodies. For example, the pyramid of Chichen Itza in Mexico, called El Castillo, which is this one, actually had astronomical purpose. It was actually a solar calendar. The triangles of the light bring the side of the stairs link up with the snake head carvings. The snake head carvings are over here, giving the illusion of the serpent, perhaps like a black diamond rattlesnake. Clearly, the builders of the pyramid knew the movement of the suns. That's according to NASA.gov. And this is the spring equinox. As you can see, this is the head of the snake, and this is like the shadow. It looks like it's slithering down the pyramid. And to this day, people stand in this pyramid and experience the spring equinox. Now that we have talked about evidence number 1, which was architecture, we're going to talk about evidence number 2, which is artifacts. Mexican government revealed documents proving that there were extraterrestrial beings having contact with the Mayan civilization. There are many artifacts depicting what it seems to be two discs of astronauts flying in the sky. Figures of faces of many large beings with oval eyes that look more like aliens rather than humans were found in Pakal's tomb, according to collective evolution. The display of the Pakal's tomb depicts a lot of alien activity. The discovery of King Pakal's tomb proves alien contact, as many artifacts were found in the tomb. The lid of the great Mayan Emperor Pakal's sarcophagus shows him taking off to heaven in what appears to be a space shuttle, the image resembles a man having an oxygen pipe, or what appears to be like in modern days. According to Paul Francis, in 2011, he was so intrigued by this finding, he decided to make his own 3D model. When his 3D model was done, he was shockingly surprised that it appeared to be an ancient man driving what appears to be a modern-day rocket ship. Another artifactual evidence that the Mayans had contact with aliens is the artifact of the Mayan astronaut. The artifact looks like a modern-day astronaut wearing a space helmet. There are also different structures of what appears to be modern-day astronauts all around ancient Mayan cities. Now that we have discussed the two types of evidence that the Mayans had contact with aliens, we went through evidence number 1, which was architecture. We went on to depict evidence number 2, which was artifacts. If we ever had ancient astronauts that came from Earth and helped our human civilization by giving us tools and by giving us knowledge, they sure left plenty of evidence behind that they were still here. Thank you.
Thank you.